Hello, and welcome to another Deviant.fun flash review video. Well, actually, it will be preview, sorry, and also flash review. This one will be a mix. So these three books that you see here have just arrived or recently arrived. This one is not a new volume. This is, as you can see, volume 9. And it's not the latest volume, but it was missing in our collection. We had a hole there, but this one is pretty new. A new Peanuts book, Scotland Bound, Charlie Brown, and Benjamin Percy's Year Zero, Volume One. Well, it's not a super novelty, but yeah, it's still fresh. So let's start with any of these ones, so why not start with Year Zero? So this is, like I said, a Benjamin Percy story with Ramon Rosanas as an artist and Lee Luffridge coloring it. So let's see what this is about. It's another apocalyptic related book. Yeah, but hopefully good. So when the dead walk, the living run. A Japanese hitman, a Mexican street urchin, an Afghan military aide, a polar research scientist, a Midwestern American prepper, 5 survivors of a horrible global epidemic. Yeah, that's a recurring theme, right? Who must draw upon their unique skills and deepest instincts to navigate a world of shambling dead. So it's kind of Walking Dead. So it seems that people get sick and they, instead of dying, they get transformed into zombies. So you might know Benjamin Percy from his work with Wolverine, especially X-Force 2, 2 with 2 O's, not X-Force 2, because there's no X-Force 2. So this book dates from the October 2020. That's when the volumes were compiled. So let's take a look at the art. The cover is great, though it looks like a photograph. I'm not sure if it's a photograph. I think it is. If it's not, it's super well done, but I think it is. At least the background. So let's take just a little look at what Ramon Rosanas is capable of. We can see he's not shy of color, but that's not on him, that's on Lee Luffridge. We see the palette changing constantly. That's good, I like it. As for the drawings themselves, well, we've got some dynamic shift in panel display. That's good to see. Vertical and horizontal grids. The art is not superb, but it's good. It looks good. So as to the vibe of the book, I was not paying much attention to the images. I was trying to analyze the dynamics of the content. Oh, zombie killer. Okay, they've got an armored truck with a shovel on the front and with spikes on the tires to smash zombies. Okay, some physiognomic exposure, so not for the faint-hearted. Yeah, we should expect from this is perhaps some mystery around the why are the people turning into zombies. I expect that to be explored. I see different scenarios here. At least there's Afghanistan here in Kabul, Minnesota. So those 5 characters that we saw, seem to be in different locations, in their home locations, and not together in the same place, because this should be a global pandemic for sure. So we've got zombie killing, action, some horror, And we got samurais. Oh, that's great. I love samurais and martial arts and etc. So that gives, whoa, I like this. This is on Mexico City. Yeah, it seems very interesting. At first sight, you've got a letter from the creator of Year Zero. A great panel here, a variant cover by Mike Deodato Jr. is Sir Mike Deodato Jr. What a penciler. Jesus. And we've got some scripting here. Yeah, it's got some nice extras for a small trade paperback, like you can see it is. So yeah, pretty interesting. So let's skip on to Peanuts. Charlie Brown, Snoopy and Friends. So good old Charlie Brown has fallen in love with his pen pal from Scotland. Now full of unbridled enthusiasm and confidence, is convinced his friends Linus, Lucy, Schroeder, and his faithful dog Snoopy to accompany him on an international trip to meet her. Whether it's golf, music, or the mystery of Loch Ness, everyone discovers something extraordinary about the legendary country. Even Charlie Brown, who realizes he's wishy-washy wherever he may be. Well, you should have noticed that by now, Charlie Brown. Oh, that's a thick cover. Look at this. Cute artwork, right? By the way, is it just Schulz working on the book? And this came out in April this year, so it's pretty fresh, like I said. Yeah, it seems it was Schulz alone doing it. Not sure if he colors. Art by Robert Pope. Ah, okay. No, this is based on Charles Schulz, of course. He's not with us, if right? So if this came out in April 2021, well, it still could be, because it could be a story that was on the drawer. But the story is by Schulz and Bill Melendez. It is written by Jason Cooper, art by Robert Pope, and colors by Hannah White with an assistant. Yeah, the paper is super great. Look at the vibrant colors. Yeah, that's how a Peanuts book should look like, right? Vibrant, shiny colors with a good paper to go with it. Super thick, glossy, but not it doesn't have that shine, that excessive shine that reflects. It almost doesn't reflect at all. It's very good quality paper, and it holds up perfectly to the vivid and lively palette. This is delicious artwork. If you go Google it, it's rated 4 dot something in Goodreads. So it's still a very fresh book, so not many people have read it, I would say, in 2 months. Well, it's Peanuts, so a lot of people must have read it, but let's give it some more time and see where the score goes. Okay, so what do we have here in terms of extras? We've got sketches, the original storyboards. Not sketches, it's even earlier stage. Then the penciling and the final art side by side. It's always interesting to see. And then we have an interview with the creative team. with the writer, artist, and also the colorist. That's great to hear from the creators. I always love it when books give us some insight on them. Okay, so about Charles Schulz, he died in 2000. Really? I was convinced he had died less. How do you say it? Well, not in 2000, but 2000-ish. Time flies by, Jesus Christ. Well, and it says he died in Santa Rosa, California, just hours before his last original strip was to appear in the papers. Yeah, that's tragic, but he probably published a lot, so it would be easy, no matter what hour or day he would die, that there was some kind of strip coming out. So, sorry, my throat is still killing me after all these days. Dawn of X Volume 9. The Dawn of X continues to amaze, does it? Well, Magma returns to Nova Roma, leading a crew of young mutants to answer an urgent distress call. A small attack on Krakoa grows into something much bigger thanks to the villainous Yellow Jacket. Can Captain Kate's crew of Marauders swat him before his sting pays off? Nathan Summers, the young Cable, has a destiny leading the youth of mutant kind in rebellion, so why not start now? The New Mutants are back from space, and they've brought intergalactic trouble for the X-Men, like if they didn't have enough on their plate. Now they have their hands full with some cosmic heavy hitters, the Brood, the Shi'ar Imperial Guard, and the Starjammers, and in the heart of South America, X-Force finds a growing problem that threatens to destroy everything they've built. So this is by Ed Brisson, Gary Duggan, Jonathan Hickman, Benjamin Percy, Marco Faglia, Matteo Lolli, Phil Noto, Mahmoud Asmar, Lionel Francis Yu, Joshua Cassara, Carlos Lopez, Edgar Delgado, Sunny Gold, Dean White. So, but the main names here are Ed Brisson, Gary Duggan, Jonathan Hickman, and Benjamin Percy, which are the main writers, right? Sorry, once again. Let's take a look at the art. Let's see how Marco Faglia, Matteo Lolli, Phil Noto, etc. are doing. Okay, it starts with New Mutants. Number 8. Yeah, it's consistent with the other volumes, right? It's good artwork, it's not, it's pretty much standardized, like I used to say. It's how comic books, modern comic books want to look like. Except if you're an independent comic book author and you want to make a stand of your own. Here we've got Marauders. It doesn't even say the number. Not that I'm seeing. It's okay. Ah, okay, it starts here. Marauders number 9. Sorry about that. That was a noisy one. Okay. Let's leaf through Cable. Got Cable here. The artwork is a bit different. This is Cable 1. Big guns. Yeah, very different artwork here. Now the X-Men number 8. Let's see how it looks like. A bit rougher. I don't like this artwork as much. It's more the coloring than the artwork, to be honest. The contrast is very weird. Everything seems to mix, and nothing shines. Oh, this is the cover of the omnibus that's coming out. The X-Men Jonathan Hickman omnibus. They chose X-Men number 8 as the cover. I didn't know that. Okay, now we're probably seeing another thing by now, but Greener Pastures, that's what X-Force issue 9. I like this artwork better. The coloring, yeah, it's good, but not the best that we've seen in the book. That was short. And so that's it for the previews. So now let's talk a bit about 2 other books. Here are the 2 books that I want to talk about, if I am able to. I'm lowering my voice as not to offend my throat too much. So the first one is Skyward Volume One. It's got some age now. It's not a novelty, but yeah, it's still fresh. And Thief of Thieves. This one is even older. So let's start with Skyward and see first the technical sheet. So we've got Joe Henderson writing, Lee Garbett doing the art and the cover too, and Antonio Favela coloring. So the volume 1, this is the 3rd printing. It dates from 2019, May 2019. So like I said, it's not something that just came out, not volume 1 at least. Of course the other volumes are fresher. And this is about one day gravity on Earth suddenly becomes a fraction of what is now, and that event is named the G-Day, Gravity Day, or something like that. I think the G comes from gravity. And it says here that 20 years later humanity has adapted to this new way of living, to this new reality, thanks to new technology and etc., like we always do, up until now at least. And so for Willa Fowler, who was just born before the G-Day, it's pretty awesome because she can fly, she can soar through the air, she's got absolute freedom. But the thing is that there are grave dangers too, because if you don't watch your step, you could fly off the face of the Earth and go into the atmosphere and be gone for good. And there are other dangers that she doesn't know related to her family, but that she will discover, painfully discover throughout the book. So let's talk a bit about it, and of course leaf through it so you can see a bit of the art, which is quite good. So it starts with the moment where G-Day happened. So things start floating around, and this person that we see here is our character's father, and he had predicted that this would happen. Look at this panel, great, right? It's great work, great artwork. And so he kind of knew this was going to happen, but he loses his wife because she fails to hold on to something, so she vanishes into the atmosphere. And here is Willa. What was her name? Willa, right? Willa as a baby, who will stay with her father, and yeah. And then we see we have a jump of 20 years later, like the summary says, and we see Hilla strolling through the air very happily, always with a smile on her face, checking out on a friend of hers who doesn't have his legs. So this no gravity is a cool thing for him. Then we meet another acquaintance of her, this lady here, and soon enough she gets into trouble because some vandals try to hijack her stuff, but she draws of a weapon and immediately, well, they think she's menacing them with a weapon, but in fact she just uses the weapon as propulsion. So to escape, she fires down and up she goes like a rocket. But then she has to grab something, otherwise it's puffed. There you go, out of the atmosphere. So of course she manages to escape. Then we see some dialogues of her with her father. Their relation is very much well explored here in the book. Her father says that he knows how to fix what happened to Earth. Like I said, he wasn't surprised when it happened. He already knew it was going to happen, but no one paid attention to his warnings. But the fact is that he's super traumatized with having lost his wife to the gravity pull, to the non-gravity pull, or to the gravity pull from other planets, but not Earth. And so he is like an eremite. I don't know if that's a word in English. So he just stays home within closed doors and within walls. Is super afraid to go outside. He doesn't go on any reason. Willa tries to get him outside, but yeah, it's no use. So Willa wants to meet an important guy who is very famous, super powerful, is the guy behind the tech that made the society, Earth society, manage to adapt. But once she meets him, she gets his interest almost immediately, and it's kind of weird why that happens. But here, this image lets you understand that his small talk and friendliness is not what is really all about. So it so happens that this guy was also working with her father, and opposed to his father, he has profited a lot with this G-Day event. So he doesn't want anyone to fix it, of course. So yeah, there will be a hunt. Willa will be in trouble. She will try to save her dad. He gets attacked and etc. And then there's an ending. Well, you can say that it's a cliffhanger, or at least it's a dramatic. It stops in a dramatic way that we aren't expecting. So this is Jacques' concept art for issue 1, the second printing cover. This is the third printing, so the cover is different. And it's also the collected volume and not the issue. So what do I have to say about this? Super interesting. The idea behind it is very, very interesting. I was really curious to know, okay, so there will be no gravity. What will we see? How will things work, and etc. And there are some interesting things like that thing of using a gunshot to propel yourself. That's a clever thing to come up with, and those systems of cables that you can use to move around and etc. So it's really quite dynamic. I was afraid that it would get a little boring because of the lack of movement, but that's not at all what you see here. It's a very dynamic comic, very well written, superbly drawn. or at least very well drawn. As you've seen in the preview, there were really some interesting panels there, so that's something for you to check if you've never checked this series. I'm eager to read Volume 2 and the next ones too, of course, if I find the time, and also have to buy them for myself and for the store before that happens. So the next title is by our friend Robert Kirkman, and it's a very different theme from The Walking Dead that has notabilized him so much. This is about thieves, and this is supposedly the biggest thief of all, this guy named Conrad Paulson. He has a secret double life as master thief Redmond. There's nothing this guy can't steal, nothing he can't have, except for the life he left behind. Of course, there would have to be something, right? Now with a grown son he hardly knows, and the next wife he never stopped loving, Conrad must try to piece together what's left of his life before the FBI finally catches up to him. But it appears they are the least of his worries. So what we'll see here is Redmond living off his profits. By the way, okay, the story is by Robert Kirkman. Nick Spencer did the writing. The artist is Sean Martinborough, and the colorist Felix Serrano. So the book uses a lot that technique of jumping back and forth in time as to introduce the next thing that's going to happen. Something in the past is relevant, so it is put there with a jump in time instead of following a sequential line of storytelling, which makes it very interesting. I like that, and it's very well achieved here. So for example, this scene, you'll get back to it later on and understand what's the importance of this phone call that he gets and why he is looking at an empty painting. But of course, straight away we see him in action, him and a partner, if I recall, gets caught, etc., etc. We understand that he has a team, and we get introduced to each one of them and how Redmond met them. This particular acquaintance is very funny because this girl is trying to steal his car, and he ends up giving her tips on how to steal cars. And there are some really clever ideas here that must have come from actual sources because some of them are very clever for Robert Kirkman to know that. I don't believe he is known for stealing cars ever in his life. But Redmond is very successful, of course. The guys in power love him because he gets jobs done, he has lots of money. But he is here in this meeting to announce that he's quitting. I quit. And what? You quit? Of course, no one really believes that he wants to quit, but yeah, he really does. He's had enough of that life. That life cost him his wife. It cost him his son growing up. This is where sometimes I don't like the artwork. These faces look nasty. Don't like it at all. But for the most part of the book, the art is good enough. The colorist is better than the penciler, let's say. So we've got these scenes, these interludes with his ex-wife, that gives some drama to the story. Then we see past missions, how they gone wrong or not, and then finally we see Conrad being visited by a lady, and this lady is from the FBI, and she's telling him straight on his face, "I know you're the thief of thieves. You can't fool me. You're not who you claim to be, and I'm gonna get you." And they talk almost openly about that. He never says, well, he does say he is not, but he is very elusive to some questions and innuendos that she throws at him. But she's onto something, and she's got how do you say, an ace up on her sleeve, which is this person here. This will make Conrad act differently, and she will force him to cooperate based on that. And maybe he's cooperating, or maybe he's just fooling everyone. You'll never know. You never know, and you never know until the end of the book what actually is behind all the schemes and action going on, because he promises the FBI that he will give the FBI, in exchange for his son, he will give them a place and a date where some of the biggest thieves will be, and that's a team he will hire for a job, and he will betray them. Or will he not? Well, that's the question. So, and the book will keep you on your seats to really understand if he really has betrayed everything to get his son back or not. And it's got some real clever plot techniques here, some great ideas. I really like the intelligence behind this story. I was super surprised. It doesn't sound very well. But yeah, I must confess, I wasn't expecting the story to be that good and that well thought of. Because this guy will fool you and everyone in the book. He is really the thief of thieves, and he will fool you, that's guaranteed. So this is something to look for. We've got Volume 2 also here in stock at Deviant.fun. So you know the drill. If you're looking for any of these books that we've shown, you can go to deviantfun.biz and purchase them. Otherwise, if you just like seeing our videos, getting to know some books, getting to see some artwork, or even learning my own opinion on them, if you care, please subscribe to the channel and hit the subscribe so that you get notified when new content lands, and it lands frequently. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, pay us a visit at our online store, because we've got an extensive catalog, thousands of titles that you can order directly. If you don't find the book that you're looking for there, just email us, messages, whatever, because we don't have every book that we can get uploaded in the store. And if you're looking for out of print and hard to get books, we also have our ways of getting them. We've been doing it quite successfully with a very, very good success rate, must say. So feel free to message us or whatever. We're here to help, and we don't charge a thing for that. So until my throat disappears into thin air in a firework-like explosion, I bid you farewell. Have excellent reads, be happy, stay safe, and until the next video. So Deviant.fun out in 3, 2, 1, bye bye.